Grow a Garden 2 is going downhill very quickly, and we need to talk about it. I was really trying to avoid making this video because I know you guys want to hear me talk about it, but at the same time, it's not really something I wanted to discuss because I really thought that it's just unnecessary. But now my entire viewpoint on it has pretty much changed, and I think it's something very important to talk about. So I would very much appreciate if you guys watch till the end of this video. We're going to go over a bunch of points regarding the game, the current player base, as well as what could be happening in the near future. And please subscribe, okay? Thank you so much. Let's get straight into it. So we obviously just got the fall world, right? It was around 10 days ago now that we actually got it. So not just recently, you know, it's been quite some time. And I'm not going to lie, this fall world at first was very interesting to me and introduced a bunch of stuff. You know, we got this pilgrim dude who lets you do quests, and his cornucopia reward is pretty good. But then you also got a lot of brand new plants in the game. You know, you got this conifer cone sapling, which literally duplicates over time. Really cool, right? And then when it turns nighttime, you become a wolf and stuff like that. Pretty cool things added into the game. However, it's time for that to stop. Because the truth is, with all of these things that the developers have added, it has actually made it much more worse for the entirety of the game. Sure, there's a lot of content to play through. However, if you really think about it, you are literally doing the same exact thing we already did since day one of the game. There is nearly nothing new. The newest thing, I guess, is just this quest guy, which sometimes you won't even be able to finish this quest because they can be pretty difficult. And also, not to mention, the developers decided to recently add in this exclusive fall egg into the shop, which I am actually going to discuss because it's pretty bad. Everything that's been quite literally added into the game has either been a repeat or something that's not really going to let you progress. Like, for example, the auctions. They have gone ahead and literally added one tiny thing to this, and once again, it's pay to win. It's these 6 auction items that you can buy down here for a Robux price lower than what it would be in like the shop. So since it's a super syrup sprinkler, it's 149 Robux from the auction. But like, for example, if you were to buy it from the gear shop with Robux, it would actually be 399 Robux. So literally the game has only gotten more and more pay to win. Not to mention, all of this stuff is meant to stay in the game for literally 2 months. If you come to this explorer guy, how do you talk to me in a moment? Brother, let me talk to you. Okay, I had to go back to like the first world or something, bro. But you see, this event is here for 50 days, brother. They expect you to be able to last this in that event for like 2 months. The developers have previously actually mentioned that they plan to do updates, or I guess big content updates, once a month. That's why we only got the fall harvest and all of this stuff at once, because that was when August started. So the next one is literally going to be in the next month. As a content creator, not only does this make it very hard for me to make content for you guys, because sometimes there will be literally nothing to do. Like, the only newest thing I had that I could possibly do for you was upload on the brand new fall eggs that they added inside of the shop. The only thing that's really holding up the game with new content right now is literally just the guild events. And the unfortunate part is these guild events are pretty pay to win or exploited. As you can see, this one that we just got starting is to harvest Atlantic giant pumpkins in the fall harvest to score for your guild. Well, how do you do that? Because if you were to come here and buy these seeds right here off of the shop, as you can see, getting 10 of them would cost you 3,490 Robux. And you might look at my garden and you're like, Numerous, how do you have like 100 of these? Well, the truth is, they're just duped seeds. There's so many people trading for them, and since I have the opportunity to sell these fall eggs, I literally just trade those for these seeds, which is a way better price than me actually coming in here and buying it with Robux myself, because I have literally hundreds of them in my garden. Also, not to mention, still to this day, the #1 clan is a cross-trading clan, meaning these people, a lot of the clans that you see on my screen right now, now not all of them, so don't go attacking them, but a lot of them, definitely the #1 clan, literally cross-trade, meaning they trade Robux from the game, or, you know, Robux, USD, whatever it is, to get items in the game. Just so you know, that's literally against the Roblox terms of service, and your account can get completely terminated off the platform if you are caught doing so. Don't get me wrong, the updates in this game look very good in all terms. They do an amazing job releasing every single one of them, and they're pretty much very polished with like little to no bugs. But when every single thing you add into the game quickly gets exploited, like every single item inside of the stock over here, or especially the only thing that is competitive in the game, the guilds events, and when these things are exploited, it completely ruins the purpose of the game. Like, I'm sure if I collect all these Atlantic giant pumpkins, come to the sell guy, I could sell it for billions raw. That is no problem for me at all. But after a certain point, you literally get so much money in the game, there is no point in doing anything else. I could keep buying these items and just getting the super magic mail so I can send stuff back. But at the end of the day, what is the point? I'm not unlocking any new content. And I really wouldn't be making this video if it wasn't for the fact that developers have put in effort so much more than you actually think, except they never released it. They have so much stuff coming into the game, like, for example, wheat, sugarcane. These are plants that have not been added into the game. You add things like a potato. I believe this might actually already be in the game. That's definitely in the game. But previously, you had, for example, this, I guess, wait, hold on, where is it? We're gonna find it right here. There's a lot of stuff that's not in the game yet, honestly. Like, for example, we're still missing a lot of these seeds, like the briar rose, that's still not in. They also never released all of this variety of guild crates. You know, we had the super guild crate, mythic, uncommon, legendary, epic. Those never got added into the game. We had things like this weather machine. It was about, or I guess supposed to let you summon in weathers into the game. Sounds like a really, really cool idea, right? Well, that also never got added into the game, even though they added an icon for it. You know, we got stuff like that. This is literally how it looked, inside of the game. But the thing is, they never added it. And on top of that, there was supposed to be these things called garden levels, which could be for a bunch of things. It could let you do like progression, could be for a battle pass, all that stuff. That also never got added. And then you had way more things like a fire fern seed. I actually think that one got added. Never mind. Let's not talk about that. Oh yeah, remember when they added the sunburst weather? This thing apparently like doesn't exist in the game because it rarely happens, bro. It is actually so rare to get that event to happen. I don't know what the devs did or what they are doing. There was supposed to be a weather staff, which is supposed to once again let you start weathers. Literally everything around this guy got added except the weather staff, as well as this cube. It was supposed to be some sort of dice, which we also never found out what it is because, well, they just don't add half of the content that gets leaked, bro. I have had the absolute chance to talk to the developers regarding this stuff, and their claim is that they are not adding a lot of content because they want to see what the players like. Would they rather big updates every single month, or would you rather smaller but, you know, content updates every single week or so? Now, personally, I obviously prefer every week simply because I think Grow a Garden 1 is already doing that. They are adding way more every single week than Grow a Garden 2. And it only makes sense if Grow a Garden 2 does the same thing. Like, look at this. Grow a Garden 1 update. This is literally the size of an entire Grow a Garden 1 update. And this is the Grow a Garden 2. Yes, it's bigger, but it's once a month. And then literally right above that is another Grow a Garden 1 update. Look at that. They have gone through like two different, completely different events in the time that Grow a Garden 1 has had one update. Or sorry, I mean in the time that Grow a Garden 2 has gotten one update. But after all of this, you might still be saying, well, Numerous, I don't think Grow a Garden 1 is doing bad because they still have over like 400,000 players every single like day. You might look at the game page and you might go to the servers to check if these are bots. Now, if I go to the servers, you'll see, wow, wait, this is actually not bots. It looks like it's all real players, right? Because they all have outfits, they don't look like noobs anymore and all that stuff, right? Well, what if I told you that the bots aren't actually being shown right here? There's multiple sources that really makes me believe this, and not only that, but some of them are genuinely just facts that prove there's a lot of bots in the game. So let me go ahead and show you. To start off, the main game has a lot of sub places. You have the Grow a Garden 2, which is the root place. This is what you probably join as a normal player. But then you got things like another Grow a Garden 2, and then you have this one but with a different emoji. It's a tomato. These are actually different servers for different players. I don't know how the developers necessarily sort through this. It's either based off of how good you actually are at the game, or you know, if you're a bot genuinely, because if you do look at these servers, then you will notice there is a lot more of these guys. A lot of people that are just noob avatars, mostly Singapore servers. That's a little bit suspicious. Now, here's me trying to join one. Let's go ahead and check out what the players in here are. And oh, would you look at that? It teleported me to a different server. Remember when I showed you the one with the plant picture in it? Look, we're gonna go ahead and join this one right here, okay? I'm gonna click this server. So now this is technically a sub place of the main game. And I'm gonna go to servers right here. And let's say I want to join the server with 3 people, right? Typically, if I press this and I do get into the game, it should let me fully in. I should be the 4th person in the server. Look, it's loading right here, and okay, this time it's actually working. No way. But no, look, it teleports me to a different game. There's not gonna be 3 people in here. Yeah, look, this is a completely different server. Not even the same outfits in here. This is the server I joined, and this is the avatars of the people in here, and that is because I am being force teleported out of the main game that I'm trying to join. This makes me immediately think that they're just keeping the bots in a completely separate server. That way it doesn't ruin your gameplay, but it also keeps the game on the front page. And that's what I think is going on. But I wouldn't say that's the only reason if I didn't have more proof. There is more things to look at, actually. If you look at the game's player counts, you will see right here that the game has been holding a pretty consistent player count, right? If you actually go ahead and look at hourly, and let's just go ahead and look at this like since the 7th of August, right? You can see the player count is pretty consistent, which would sound really good, right? Well, the thing is, the world doesn't work like that, because half of the time, half of the world is sleeping while the other half is playing. And I can actually show you this with a game where, you know, there is no reason to have bots or AFK in. For example, 99 Nights in the Forest. If you take a look at this, you can see the hourly of this game has a lot more jumps. It goes up here, down at like 10 p.m., up at 5 a.m., and down at like 10 p.m. again. And that is because this game has a real player count. The people playing that game genuinely leave the game. In Grow a Garden, that doesn't happen because that's not all real players. On top of that, if you actually go to the charts page, for a game that has 400,000 players, you would assume the developers are making a lot more money than other games. Well, if you scroll down to the top earning, Grow a Garden is actually not even on this first page. You have to go to the second page to finally see a game with 400,000 players. And well, if you look, other games with like 20,000, 16,000 are making more money than Grow a Garden 2. And well, the entirety of Grow a Garden 2 is pretty much pay to win. You got all these super seed packs, and then inside of World 2, you know, they have the fall eggs and stuff. I do also have this extension that shows me that, you know, Grow a Garden 2 has a lot of bots. It doesn't necessarily say how much, but it only proves my point further. There is mostly bots in this game still to this day. It has definitely gotten much better than it was before. I believe when the game released, like, it was a crazy amount of bots. They were literally ruining your experience playing the game. Now they still technically are, because now these bots exploit. They cross trade, they try to sell you stuff that's not supposed to be sold, and they can possibly ruin your gameplay experience. But I really do believe in the fact that the developers can make good updates. Like, at least give us an admin party every weekend or something with a little bit of content. And then the huge big updates can be on weekends. We just need something to show us there is a schedule for this game. Because right now, bro, there's like nothing to do. What am I supposed to do? Get amber cranberries that stock like once in a blue moon? Well, it's kind of crazy because there is actually a blue moon in this game, the mega moon. But let me know what you guys think. Do you prefer the game getting updates every single week like it did in Grow a Garden 1, but maybe the updates aren't as good? Or do you prefer big updates once a month? Or something else? Just comment it down below. I'll definitely be reading all the comments. But until then, hurry up and watch this video on the screen right here. I went ahead and picked it for you myself. It's a way better video than this one, and I probably will not be ranting for hours. So hurry up and click it. Until then, I'll catch you in that video. Goodbye. Hurry, click it.